no cracks. Oh, sorry.
Hey folks, just wanted to do this widely edited video while the hype train is still running on the tracks. Right now is a hot, rewarding time to be a fan of Looney Tunes. And as a longtime lover of this classic cartoon franchise myself, I'm just internally embracing the positive energy everyone's been spreading within the cartoon community. To think just several months ago, people were worried about the fate of the Looney Tunes' relevance with the whole Coyote versus ACME controversy, and while that movie still isn't seeing a bright light near the end of the tunnel painted on a rock, the month of June alone validates the optimistic idea that Bugs, Daffy, and the rest of the gang will be doing just fine. In this casually made video, I'll go over why Looney Tunes are currently as relevant as ever. Alright, let's talk about the biggest example. The gorgeously designed Looney Tunes cartoons on HBO Max has met a resurgence in popularity thanks to the buzz surrounding The Day the Earth Blew Up, the theatrical sci-fi movie based on them, starring old chums Daffy Duck and Porky Pig. So this was announced back in 2021 and intended for a streaming release on Max, but then everything changed when the Zasloff attacked in 2022 and Warner Bros. Animation had to shop around for another streaming service to release the movie. But in 2023, WB was like, screw streaming, we're putting this beautifully animated bad boy on a big screen. So with that, thanks to a deal with GFM Animation, the headlines have been emphasizing that The Day the Earth Blew Up will be the Looney Tunes franchise's first fully animated theatrical film, although I strongly believe more of those sources to specify that it will be the franchise's first fully animated theatrical film that is not a compilation made up of scenes from the classic sorts. Don't underestimate the Bugs Bunny Rover movie in particular, folks. It was more instrumental in reviving Looney Tunes' popularity than you may think. Back on topic, The Day the Earth Blew Up was the talk of Toontown this June for all the right reasons. The film was given an early screen release at the Annecy Festival in France, a top hub for news on forthcoming animated projects, and the crowd went wild with laughter as they watched Daffy and Porky's antics, just like how it was during the golden age of Termite Terrence. Or like how the earlier Looney Tunes cartoons entry from 5 years ago, Dynamite Dance with Bugs and Elmer, provided validation that Pete Braungart's supervision of these classic characters are under a team of very good hands. For those who couldn't make it to Annecy to watch the full film, one sneak peek clip along with a series of preview images were enough to not only convince us Looney Tunes fans that the gorgeously designed HBO Max Sorts' transition to feature length looks like a successful one, but also inspires a new hope for a resurgence in 2D animation playing in theaters, at least in North America. Of course, apologies to some 2D animation purists out there, but I don't sense a guarantee that hand-drawn films in North America will be more of a common occurrence because of this one Looney Tunes movie that, at the time of this writing, doesn't even have an exact release date set for the United States and Canada yet. But whether it will be a hit or a flop in theaters, The Day the Earth Blew Up's own merits are already proving that the classic Sorts of Spirits is still alive and well. Now I want to try my best to be brief on how the almost 2-minute sneak peek that's been trending recaptures such spirit. As mentioned earlier, the Looney Tunes cartoon series is already one of the best designed animated series in recent years for how it brings the appealing draftsmanship of the classic WB units like Bob Crampet's and Chuck Jones's and makes it as rich and colorful as they looked in the 40s. Both this feature film, such richness has only elevated to even higher levels. While the gags with Porky and Daffy are funny in and of themselves, the animation done by the talented folks at Tonic DNA here in Canada, in Montreal, Quebec to be exact, just strengthens them. A raw pencil test cut of this sequence was revealed 2 years earlier, back when the film's fate was in a limbo, but now we have it fully colored and edited to perfection, while retaining the personality of the rough animation. There are particular shots I want to highlight animated by two amazing animators at the studio, Alan Sequin and Gilmoom Blackburn. Their work is worthy of studying frame by frame, and as a character animator myself, I just want to give praise where praise is due on these technicalities. Let's start with my personal favorite shot of Alan's, where Daffy is blowing out sludge from the window gutter. Instead of simply saying, "Wow, look how fluid this is," I'll point out how Alan went all out on applying some appropriate animation principles in order for Daffy inhaling and exhaling to look as fantastic as it did. He used anticipation as Daffy inhales, squats and stretches when Daffy opens his bill wide and blows, slow in and slow out when he's doing so, and exaggeration thanks largely to the little dry brush smear frame used here. Seriously, to quote Gail Moon Blackburn, check out the air moving from his chest to his butt. Beautifully crafted shot. Another beautiful shot animated by Alan that I love to heaven and back is when Daffy pops out of the bin with a flamethrower to, quote, eradicate a pile of leaves and junk. Forgive my Gen Z slang, but this goes hard, man. The weight and stretchiness as Daffy pops up and lands on the ground to use his flamethrower make up an incredible display of energetic acting. Alan, if you're watching this video, because I know you responded to my praise for your work previously, I just want to congratulate you on what you and the other folks at Warner Bros. Animation and Tonic DNA have done with The Day the Earth Blew Up. This is James Baxter levels of quality and Dan Haskett levels of fluidity. I'm not even done with praising the animation yet. Didn't I say I was going to be brief? Whatever. Never a dull moment when it comes to quality animation. But hey, if you made it this far, thank you. Be sure to hit the like button if you're enjoying this so far, and subscribe for more cartoon nerdiness like this, and to help balance out this ratio. Also, please consider supporting me on Ko-fi, where I'm always offering amazing deals on my commission slots, and starting to build up my selection of supporter-exclusive content. Your support really helps me out as an independent artist and content creator. Thanks. Alright, back to Duckman and Daffy and Porky. We move on to the second awesome animator at Tonic DNA, Gail Moon Blackburn. The first of his two shots worth noting is Daffy welcoming the home inspector lady, and my god, there is an unbelievable parade of bold lip movements, or rather beak movements, and gestures smoothly marching about. Just all of this secondary accent going on is a feast for the eyes, and going back to when I said these scenes are worth studying frame by frame, this is no different than how Bob Clampett's animators like Rod Scribner draw these exaggerated consecutive frames that bear little resemblance to one another, but they work when they're timed out. In fact, I asked Gail Moon on Twitter if he studied any of Clampett's animators for the scene, and he said no. All he had were the photogenic memories of watching the classic cartoons since childhood. That is impressive. Also, I want to mention when it comes to Porky in this shot, Number 1 Daffy Duck fan and amazing classic style cartoonist herself, Eliza Herdun, pointed out the very subtle secondary accent of Porky twitching his cheeks nervously. I had no prior idea about that, though it's understandable because of how Daffy's animation in the shot hams it up more than the actual ham on screen. Kinda like how in the first produced episode of The Simpsons, bringing up Dan Haskett again, we're so distracted by the unusually smooth animation of Miss Bots that the following animation of Bart is minimal by comparison, but it's funnier that way. Clearly Daffy is the favorite amongst a good chunk of the crew. The last shot of Gail Moon I want to discuss is this one of the inspector lady pointed towards the hole in Daffy and Porky's roof. I don't have as much to say about this one, but I like how there's a subtle milk call style head swaggle when she says satisfactory. By far, the most impactful part is her sticking out her large finger as she yells, "Your roof!" The way she stretches when she does so, you can just feel the exaggeration. Spectacular work on all of your scenes, Gail Moon, if you're watching this. And remember, this is just the teaser we've seen and been discussing. Just imagine what the rest of The Day the Earth Blew Up looks like in action. Oh, and I haven't even touched on Eric Balza's voice performance yet. He's once again shown to be the best Daffy sound-alike since the late Joe Awaski.
Okie dokie, Porky, let's get crack-a-lackin'.
Although his take on Porky has met with less positive feedback for how it sounds more like Bugs Bunny than how Bob Bergen voiced Porky for many consecutive years since Mel Blanc's passing.
Get a load of this! Okay, first things first.
It doesn't alienate me personally, because once again my attention is directed more towards the phenomenal animation. Overall, I'm really pleased with these samples of this Looney Tunes cartoons movie, the early positive reactions it has received thanks to the ACME screening, and how it just brought in all this optimism and joy within the cartoon community regarding Warner Bros. Animation. I can't wait for the day the Earth blew up to get a wide release here in North America, especially in Canada. I'm wide open to the idea of seeing these classic characters in their natural habitat of the big screen. Like, the only time I got to see Daffy and Porky in theaters was in the Warner Bros. Animation logo animated by the legendary Eric Goldberg during my viewing of Teen Titans Go to the Movies. So yeah, please make sure it comes to Canadian theaters as well, Warner Bros. Once again, I must reiterate that the release of The Day the Earth Blew Up may not guarantee a new wave of hand-drawn animated features in North America, but based on the early positive reception it has gotten, it could inspire even more interest in this wonderful franchise. Congrats to Pete Browngarth, Alex Kerwan, Michael Rocco, the animators at Tonic DNA, and the rest of the Looney Tunes cartoons crew for your incredible work recapturing the spirit of the 40s Warner Bros. Shorts. Here's to more success for the Looney Tunes cartoons in the foreseeable future. Now, before I close off this video, I want to address some honorable reasons why Looney Tunes have been a hot topic this June. I'll be quick, or at least I'll try to be, because my praise for The Day the Earth Blew Up teaser already took up so much time, understandably so. First, around the same time that teaser dropped, Daffy's new stop-motion short Daffy and Wackyland, a sequel to Bob Clampett's career-defining short Porky and Wackyland, got a more accessible release when it was added to Max on June 14th, after previously being screened only at festivals. Because I don't have Max in Canada and wasn't sure if Prime Video would have it via their Teletoon Plus or Stack TV channels, I just settled with the Hanna-Barbera Screen Caps Twitter account to watch it until it was taken down. As expected, while not on par with the original Clampett classic, Daffy Duck in Wackyland was an insanely good surreal feast for the eyes, and perhaps the best transition from 2D to stop motion since Screen Novelty's holiday specials for SpongeBob. An eccentric bird up against another eccentric bird? Hell yeah! Also around the same time, thanks to animator/historian Vincent Alexander on Twitter, I got to see clips from a stop-motion film by one of the more underrated classic WB directors, Frank Taslin. It's possible that the director of Daffy and Wackyland, Max Winston, was aware of Taslin's stop-motion shorts because of the way these 3D models do these exaggerated expressions that are mostly associated with 2D characters. In any case, this was an awesome finale to the Looney Tunes cartoon series. Well, unless you count you-know-what. Although apparently, I heard that they still haven't released all 1,000 minutes that they promised of content. I don't know. Yeah, moving on, next. Let's talk about MeTV Toons, the new over-the-air network based on MeTV's Tune In With Me classic cartoon block. You ever heard the term killer app? Or how Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl was to be a quote smash killer? Well, this here is the Boomerang Killer Network. Even though the GOAT of animation historians Jerry Beck insists that it's technically different from Boomerang, or even the pre-cartoon days of Cartoon Network, MeTV Toons would have already launched on June 25th by the time this video comes out, and it's simply amazing how, even in the age of streaming domination, there is still an audience for a free broadcast network showing nothing but the large variety of Saturday morning cartoons that Warner Bros. Owns the rights to. Obviously, Looney Tunes are a part of the schedule, but we also got cartoons as old as Popeye and as recent as Duck Dodgers, a show from over 20 years ago. We got many expected famous faces on board, but there's also an impressive selection of some more obscure series ready for introduction to new generations, such as Two Stupid Dogs, Wait Till Your Father Gets Home, and the Police Academy cartoon. Yeah, remember when R-rated movies got Saturday morning children's cartoons back in the 80s? Unfortunately, I can't access MeTV Toons myself because I'm in Canada, of course, And if you think Boomerang Canada is a good counterpart, no. They don't air anything older than the Raccoons on there, which, don't get me wrong, is a Canadian icon and an underrated work of art by 80s TV cartoon standards, while the majority of their other programs date back to 2010. Still, I'm happy that MeTV Toons exists, the interest in cartoons from decades prior is still alive, and newer generations can go from watching Bugs Bunny outsmarting his foes to a pair of stupid dogs at an erotic dance club. Seriously, how did they get away with that crap for children in the 90s? Okay, last thing, the Tasmanian Devil celebrated his 70th birthday this June. Just like Marvin the Martian, Taz only appeared in 5 Golden Age shorts, 4 with Bugs, and 1 with Daffy. But it wasn't until sometime in the 80s, and especially in the 90s, when Warner Bros. Made him into a marketing machine, with a spin-off series, tons of merch, and 2 different VHS tapes that are almost the same damn thing because of how limited Taz's filmography was. But Warner Bros. Didn't seem to make a big deal about Taz's 70th birthday, however, as far as I can tell. In general, aside from Bugs Bunny's and Tweety's 80th birthdays in 2020 and 2022 respectively, the studio doesn't celebrate these legacy characters' birthdays like they used to anymore. Allegedly because they thought, oh, we're gonna tell little kids of today that these cartoon characters are old dinosaurs? Oh well, just wanted to mention it because I know Taz has had many fans since his first short, Devil May Hair, came out. It is why he continued to exist despite the producer Eddie Seltzer's objections. Not that the boys at Termite Terrors ever gave a rat's ass about what Eddie thought about their idea to begin with. So yeah, happy belated birthday to Taz. Alright, once again, this is a video that turned out longer than I expected as I was writing, but you know, that's what happens when you love Looney Tunes too much. So let me know in the comments your thoughts on all this Looney Tunes stuff happening at once as the summer begins. Are you excited for the day the Earth blew up and want to see it in theaters? What are your thoughts on Daffy and Wackyland? Have you been watching MeTV Toons and enjoying it? Lastly, what is your favorite Tasmanian Devil moment from the past 70 years? I'm always excited to hear what my fellow cartoon nerds have to say. Also, please remember to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe for more animation nerdiness like this, hit the bell so you won't miss them, and leave a carrot emoji in the comments to confirm that you watched this until the very end. Thanks for watching, take care, and that's all, folks.